Okay, guys, morning, afternoon, or night. I don't know the time you're watching this video. I want to say sorry because of the interaction that we had yesterday. Um, but right now you're gonna be having this class, right? Recording, and I know that you will be watching it because um, you want to improve, right? You want to learn, and that's very pretty interesting and beautiful when a student desires to learn. And this is virtual class, and in virtual classes you have this opportunity, right, to watch classes in this way. So let's start right now with our class. So our topic is this one: post-parity methods. And when we're speaking about post-parity method, we're talking about the ability of the human have, right, to transmit ideas using some specific dialects, specific accents, specific ways. And I'm not sure because at the time, this moment, I haven't I haven't checked the platform if we had worked or not on the activity about speaking, but it is related to this one, right? Post-parity methods. So remember, this is just a parenthesis that tomorrow you're having the second evaluated quiz, and if you're thinking what are you gonna be evaluating? So every class, since the first one till this one. So you must be watching this one, and you're gonna be having from 4:20 to midnight, maybe to complete your quiz. Not gonna be difficult, right? But it's gonna be for you. And our quiz will be including all of the topics study. So you must be reviewing every lesson, including this one. So do it. Okay, so pay attention to this short concept that says voice quality refers simply to the sound quality of a person's voice. So everybody in this classroom, in this virtual classroom, is having a dialect or idiolect. Everyone speaks using his or her own mm, way, right? If you travel and visit Perequín, for example, here in El Salvador, you will be encountering that in that specific area, people speak using some linking sounds. It's like if they are singing when they are speaking. For example, in Spanish, like, ¿y fuiste? Something like this, right? ¿Y comiste tal cosa? O, ¿y ya viste esa película? But that's pretty normal that if you're living in that area, you're speaking in this way, right? It's okay. If you listen to me speaking, maybe you will be probably saying, your tone of voice not so beautiful. That's true, right? I don't sing, I can't, but maybe you. The thing is to understand that voice party method refers to the idea that everyone in this classroom, everyone around the world is having a dialect and an accent. Everyone have an accent. So in this classroom, you have your own accent, the way you speak, right? The accent, how you use the word and the vocabulary and phrases and everything, right? Okay, continue. It says in here, each person has unique voice quality, but characteristics common with other voices. If you, for example, go to United States, probably you are like, if I visit United States, everyone speaking the same way. No, states in the United States speak using some different kinds of accents or um pronunciation. It's not the same, right? If you visit, for example, New York, you will be noticing a big different or different, right, in pronunciation than if you're visiting Texas, for example. It's not the same, right? I have certain words as a translator and interpreter in my experience, and I remember that when I was speaking or trying to say something into Spanish from a person from New York or any other state like Washington or any other one, I understood, right, clearly, and I was able to transmit the ideas into Spanish. But the last year, I was invited. to be the interpreter of a person coming from Texas. He was preaching for the Congress, right? And I was there trying to say everything in Spanish. And I know that people from Texas is having that tough accent. And I didn't um, well, I was able to understand everything, right? But I remember that I got some problems and I didn't right understand some specific pronunciation the last year. I remember it was like you repeat it because he was using some typical accent, right? That's why. So the idea of this topic is to let you know that if you are learning English, people are not speaking the same, people are not using the same kind of voice or accent. So you will be encountering many kind of people speaking in different ways, right? Like your teachers, you're gonna be having some teacher with beautiful accent, right? Tone of voice, and big teachers who are having some problem to speak right. They are able to speak, but they're like speaking like uh, only um, very tough, right? Not soft. They are very like having some difficulty in speaking, but that's normal because we are not the same, right? The best idea is to understand that when you are in an ESL class, right, like this one, when you are trying to learn a second language, the idea is to communicate, not to speak like a native speaker, right? We can imitate, but the idea or the main point is to communicate. Got it? If a person from the United States understand you, so you're okay. That's the idea, right? And you will be improving your pronunciation. But if you are understandable, that's pretty nice. Okay, this is our learning competency, and it says in here, one language set you in a quarter for life. Two languages open a door along the way. So if you learn the second language, you will be having opportunities to travel, to get scholarships, to go to many places. Have good job, right, according to you, to your own goals. Okay, this is something that you must be studying. I know, which is in here. Uh, Voice quality has recently gained considerable importance in speech processing. Remember, this is about speech, act, speech sounds, how you understand the language using some speech stages. It builds a direct relationship to the naturalness, of speech synthesis systems, and it is part of the natural language constraints considered in speech recognition. For example, according to Noah Chomsky, everyone is able. Noah Chomsky is a person, an important person in linguistic areas. Okay, Noah Chomsky says if you put a baby, right, that is, let me see, from now imagine yourself. I know that you're having some relatives, according to Noah Chomsky. Your relatives maybe are in the United States. Everyone in this classroom is probably having person or a relative, right, in the US. They are from El Salvador, but they are having a baby in the US, right? And that baby is growing up. That baby is able to understand the English language perfectly because he is or she is in the environment from the United States. So the idea is to understand that everyone is able to understand any language. It's not important where you are. Okay, if you are from El Salvador, but you are living in China, you were born in China, for example, you will be able to understand that speech act. So you don't understand right, right? But this is the idea. The voice quality is like taking a considerable importance in the speech act because we know that right now People are learning a second language, got it, by the experience. And there are many circumstances that are very natural that are taken into account in the idea to understand the second language. For example, if you are right now starting learning French, you will be encountering many relationships with your language, with the English language. Voice quality signs can be used to characterize ESL student accents and to help non-native speakers of English improve their pronunciation. This is what I was telling to you, right? An ESL class. You are an ESL student. You are learning the second language because you have some purposes. So the voice quality is like helping you to improve your accents in this language. How? Well, paying too attention to the pronunciation because pronunciation is so important, truly important when you are not only speaking but also listening or taking a test, for example. You take a test and you are having a good pronunciation, you understand the listening parts. Terminology for voice quality is received, provisory, particularly for the lower vocal tract. The concepts of voice quality as long as the long term. Okay, continue. I'm recording. So the idea to understand the voice quality is to let you know that every person is having his or her own accents and dialect, right? It's according to where you live. If you live, for example, in San Miguel, probably you're using a lot of the S, right? I visited San Salvador, uh, let me see, for some academic processes 10 years ago. And a person from the university, from one university in San Salvador, asked me, right, you are from San Miguel? And I said, yes. Why? Because of the way you speak. So I felt frustrated because he was like criticizing me, right? But this is about the voice quality. When you improve your voice quality, right, or you pay attention to these methods, um, you are able to improve your pronunciation. And pronunciation help you to understand conversations properly. Okay, here you have some idea about this, right? If you travel to England, for example, you will be noticing that they are using some phrasal verbs that are not used in the US. For example, these ones, A and E. If you say, I don't, Aiden and Yvette, it's like, I don't believe it. Interesting, right? So this one, bacon and eggs. If you say, you have got, well, this is a grammatical expression just used in England. In England, have got. In the United States, people use like you got, but in England, they say you have got. Like you have got a lovely set of bacons. If you say that, you are expressing the idea that someone is having a beautiful or yes, beautiful legs. Because the expression bacon and eggs means legs. For this one, apples and pears, it's like stairs. Get your bacon up, the apples and pears. So now this one, if you are watching this class, right, this recorded class, you will be able to understand and to answer the following listening to practice your voice quality. If you finish it right, contact me in private, send me your answer, and I will be giving to you 1 point for our quiz, for our second quiz, right? Evaluated second quiz. So pay attention to this one. Contact me right with your answer, and I will be providing to you 1 extra point. Wait a minute.
Listen to part of a lecture in a history class.
Okay, everybody. So last time we talked about the Columbian Exchange. As I mentioned earlier, this term is named for Christopher Columbus, the explorer who sailed from Spain to the Americas. His contact with the Americas in 1492 marked the beginning of the European colonization of the Americas. Anyway, who can tell us what the Columbian Exchange was?
Wasn't it, it was the exchanges between cultures that started taking place after Columbus reached the Americas?
Yes, that's right. Okay, well, as you may remember, we also discussed the negative effects of the Columbian Exchange. But let's put those negative effects aside for today. See, there was something we didn't get to talk about in class last time: the advantages of the Columbian Exchange. That's what we'll be addressing today. One advantage that comes to mind is the exchange of animals. See, when Columbus arrived, most of the original inhabitants in the Americas didn't have beasts of burden.
Like donkeys and horses?
Yes. These animals were important because they are able to do hard work like carry heavy materials. Their introduction made life easier for the peoples of the Americas. Okay, and that's just one thing. Now, let's continue with some others.